Hey guys, this is Awesome John 22 yet again with another review already. I know, I just blew your minds. Anyway, we are taking a look at another Power Rangers toy today, which I know. I said back in my Gosei Great Megazord review, I probably wasn't going to be doing any more Power Rangers stuff from the new series because they seem to be breaking it down unnecessarily into sets that were a little out of my price range for, you know, individual Zords. Speaking of Gosei Great Megazord, he says hi. Recently, though, I came across these guys. They were a little bit discounted. I figured I'd give them a shot. If I didn't like them, I could return them, you know. Didn't think they were worth the money, and I really like them a lot. First of all, I want to point out that the smaller Zords you see there, which end up making up the legs of the combined Megazord, are just, their gimmick is just so dumb. Oh, dear God, it is dumb. I'm going to show it to you right here. We have Air Leon, or Air Lion. What you do, and this is the same on both of them, you take one of these bits here, fold these down, and oh my gosh, he looks a little bit like a motorcycle now, so let's put a guy on him. Like I said, dumb. And now this actually brings up one of my biggest issues with this set. In the Japanese version, Air Lion and Sea Lion, who is the blue guy over there, were not remolds. Well, more specifically, Air Lion was not a remold of Sea Lion, which he is here. You can see, well, actually, they're kind of backwards remolds of each other. It's weird. The back end is a remold of his back end, but the front end has these bits on hinges, which I don't think they were on hinges on the original Japanese figure. Otherwise, though, they look really cool. Like the Megaforce guys, they do have headers, which are just known as Zords in the American version. This is the Air Lion header. Clicks right on, and it clicks on any header port. This is the Sea Lion header. I really like this one. I like the bluntness of it. Clicks right on there, and clicks on any port. See, for example, clicks there too. He is a submarine. He's like a blimp, I think, in the show or something. I don't know. It was something silly and didn't quite make sense. This guy here is Ground Lion, I believe is what it's called. Love this guy. I love him. I love everything about him. I'm going to move these guys off to the side so I can show you how much I love him. Favorite Zord ever, except maybe Green Dragon Zord. He has little missiles that fire when you push them. And they clip right back in there. He is the combination of the Lion Header, or Lion Zord, and like a big frickin' construction site dump truck thingy. It's awesome. I love it. I love the look of it. I love the weight of it. It's heavy. This was the bulk of the figure. It cost me about 30 bucks. The other two cost me about 10. Overall, it was pretty expensive. I'm not going to lie. It was a pretty expensive toy. But I really feel like I got my money's worth, especially because of this. When you take the Lion Zord, or Lion Header, off, you can see he seems to have some moving parts. Why would he have moving parts, you ask? Well, because the Lion Zord is also the 6th Ranger of the series. This is the Robo Knight, I believe he is. Robo Knight. I have been watching the show a little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And he has shown up in the show, and he is just awesome. I mean, he alone has gotten me to where I want to watch the show regularly again. He's very stoic and very badass. He goes around and he just kicks the crap out of people. And he's freaking fantastic. This is a very simplified version of him. But I mean, he's a freaking robot who has the mentality of a knight who wants to protect all freedom in the world or whatever. And he freaking grows into those Zord size, transforms into a lion head, combines with this, and this thing alone has been shown to take down the Monster of the Week on its own without the other Zords. That is just awesome. I love this guy. You can see his profile's good. He stands really great. And he has a standard Power Ranger head. He looks like a Power Ranger. He's a really good toy, and I like that he is included with this. I like you can do this. I knew you could do this on the Japanese version. I did not expect that to carry over to the American version. I really didn't. You can see he just fold his legs up behind him, keep his arms out to make the mane, bring this little crest down, and there he is in Lion Zord mode again. And he plugs right on. It's a little tricky if you don't get it right, just the right angle, but it still plugs right on, and he looks fantastic. I love it. And if that's not enough, this thing turns into a freaking badass Megazord too. As we know from the 6th Rangers of past series, 6th Ranger has a Megazord of his own. I don't know why I took that off. That doesn't come off yet. This comes off. You take this off. Take these off. You can see his head under there. Spoiler. Take these off. Stand him like this. Hide it better. Stand him like this. You take these. Make sure the gray bit is pointing back. Come on. There we go. Again, like the header, they don't like to go on if they're at the wrong angle. A little annoying, but you know. See the peg, you can see the peg hole. Plug it in. Take this thing that came off. Yeah. Plug it into the chest. Now we come up here. What I like to do is move these like this. And take his legs. Fold them up so that they're straight up. Then take these, fold them down, and rotate them again so that they're once again flat. Then you bring up the crest, and the transformation of the lion is complete. Well, the ground lion. Now we take Air Lion. Done. We take Sea Lion. These are really tight here too, and you have to be careful because these will pop off before this will move, so you have to kind of grab the whole thing. But again, done. We take them. Oh, and also if this is pointing up, rotate it around. Pretty simple. Plug it in. Plug it in. Whoop. That was not supposed to happen. It never has happened before. He's not loose or anything. That's kind of weird. Anyway. Let me get him in frame. And now we have the Gosei Ground Megazord, I believe is what they're calling it. And he's just Gosei Ground in the Japanese. He has a big freaking head, but for some reason, I think that just adds to the figure. I love it. You can see his face. Oops. His face is very cool. He's got great detail on his chest. Great color. A lot of paint you wouldn't expect it to be there. And this is kind of why I don't mind that these guys are remolds of each other so much, is that they're more similar in leg mode, and it kind of brings the whole thing together. Nice, really dark black color for the plastic. Come up, and there's great silver paint here on Robo Knight. See the Megaforce crest there. Oh, he's staring at you. I love it. I love the toy. I'm so glad I got it. It doesn't change the fact that it's probably out of the price range of a lot of people. And I'm kind of, you know, being a douche by showing off that I own it. Because I am kind of the budget reviewer. I buy toys that most people can afford rather than third-party stuff that no one can. No offense to other reviewers out there. Not trying to strike a blow or anything. Size comparison. Here he is with the Gosei Great Megazord, which you can see is quite a bit smaller. And because I didn't show a size comparison of him in my last video, there he is with Smokescreen. Bring it back, because he is tall. He's a tall toy. You can see Smokescreen is much shorter. Smokescreen is about 5 inches tall, I believe. And very cool. So very cool. And would you believe me if I said it freaking gets cooler? Yes, it does. It gets cooler than this. This is where we come back. Take this piece off. There we go. Whoop. Take the head all the way off. Take the chest off. And this brings me to the most common complaint about this figure in general. American, Japanese, whatever. The fact that it is a parts former, and I'm not going to lie, it's a parts former. That doesn't bother me as much. Take this off. Take the legs back off. And we're actually going to return them to their previous configuration that I showed you earlier. I like to leave them notched one inward, just personal preference, wanted to throw it out there. So that these male connectors, whoop, yeah, like that. So these male connectors are like so, and we straighten them back out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come to the Gosei Great Megazord. We're going to remove his sword, aka the dragon's tail, and his head, aka his head. And we're going to open up the dragon's tail, plug in his head and close it as we would for dragon mode. Next we're going to remove his arms. Oop, shark head popped off. Remove his arms and fold his wings back. Down here, the only thing we do to the legs, there's so much stuff on this table right now. Well, the only thing we do to the legs is we remove the headers from them. Now, we are going to take this bit here, which was the torso of the Gosei Ground Megazord. We are going to take these panels on the back, straighten them out, and then rotate this all the way around. Turn it over, kind of splay these out, and see how that kind of resembles some kind of display stand or display point or something because of the things moving inward. Well, it does. We're going to take the dragon's head off, and we're going to plug it in right there. See where this is going? I bet you do. Plug it in to the top of the dragon. That's right. Now we take these panels, cover the arm connectors with them. Shush. Sorry, my dogs are acting up again. They seem to do that all the time. Anyway, now we're going to take these connector points here and connect Gosei Ground's legs to them as brand new arms. So cool. Now we're going to take the connector points on his shoulders and connect these and keep them aligned with which side was which in their individual Megazord modes. That'll help you keep track which side to put these on. Hence the black snake goes on the side with the black leg and vice versa. Same with the new arms. Blue is on the right, so he stays on the right. Not hugely important. It's more of a nitpicky thing from my perspective, but you know, I'm weird. Next, we are going to take, because he doesn't technically have feet now, we're going to take these, fold these panels up, and we are going to take, where's the other one? The other one, do the same thing. Like I said, a lot of stuff on this table. We're going to take this with the missile launcher outward, and plug the legs in to give him bigger feet. As you can see, bigger feet. Now we're going to take this mysterious piece from his back, open it up, come around to the back of the new figure. Well, the new Megazord, I guess. Not really a new figure. You can see connector points here, connector points there. We are going to attach this here to make his legs a little more pronounced. Big one, guys. Now we're going to take the shark, which was his right arm. Yeah, come on. Peg it into the top of his new right arm. And the phoenix, who was his left arm, plug it into the top of his new left arm. And they can rotate if you so choose. And finally, last but not least, let's zoom out anymore, move him back a little bit. We take his head, and we are going to splay these open to make more of a V shape, just to distinguish him. And we are going to plug his head in its new configuration into this new neck slot. And I don't know what this monstrosity is going to be called, because I don't have any instructions with his name on it. As far as I know, he hasn't popped up in the series yet. But look at that. It's huge. And it's still in good proportion. And it's got badass shoulders, which is always a good thing. It is just awesome. This is a ruler. It stands taller than a ruler. It's more than a foot tall. Just so cool. From what I can tell, like I said, there's no real instructions for this guy. He does have a weapon. Take the sword / tail and plug it into the top of this piece. And on the back, float out this handle. And he can kind of, sort of, like I said, kind of, sort of, because it's really hard to get in there, hold this as a sort of staff weapon. I'm not really that worried about displaying him with that thing, because I think it looks kind of silly. I'm actually going to have to pick my tripod up, not for the first time in this review, and step back a little. You can see just a huge toy. Details are really good. The gold in the chest really leads into the gold on the dragon very well. Love the gold rings there, kind of mirroring the connector points. And these guys, the sea and air lions, really make for good arms. And of course, badass shoulders. Which, if you really wanted to, you could say, you know, these rotate forward and then launch the Zords off like missiles or something. Would not be a stretch. In fact, he may do that in the show. I don't know. Just wildly cool, guys. I love this thing. I cannot express adequately how much I love this thing. The design may be kind of simplistic. Transformation may be kind of simplistic. It is just a big parts former and some head things that rearrange themselves. But this thing, the monstrosity of it, the really cool gold patterns that really lead into each other, something about it really reminds me of some of the older style Power Ranger stuff. And you cannot go wrong with that as far as I'm concerned. I've been gushing about this toy. Chances are the majority of you do not think so highly of it as I do. But from my perspective, this thing is a great addition to anyone's Power Rangers collection, or even Sentai collection if you can't really get your Sentai stuff imported very easily, but you are more into Sentai than Power Rangers. This guy is still a pretty good substitute. Most of the paint is there. The Ground Lion and the Sea Lion only for the most part though, really do look like their Japanese counterparts quite a bit. And for kids out there, even the individual legs / arm sets do come with these little additions, which I said are silly, and they are, but they really increase the play value for kids. I love this guy. Again, I'm going to put Smokescreen on screen again with him. He is so tall that you can't even see Smokescreen, except like the very tip top of his head. That is how big this thing is. I am going to go right now and put it back on my shelf where it belongs, right next to the Lego Black Pearl, because it is that cool. This has been Awesome John 22 saying, if you can afford spending $50 on Power Rangers, this is a great pickup. Even without the other Megazord, it's just great.